Kevin,
Yes.
what are you working on?
Well, your truck, actually.
You're working on my truck.
Yeah,
My
over
truck
here.
is not on this bench. What's
No.
that?
All right. Well, keeping with the low buck theme of the truck, what we want to do is kind of beef up the ignition system a little bit. So we found a very, very cool swap meet used old MSD box. Check that out with the
Wow.
old logo and everything, right?
How old do you think that is?
I don't know. I'm going to say not as old as you'd think. I think probably early 70s. I don't think it's that old.
Okay.
But it'll look better on the truck than a brand shiny new one.
Right.
And what we're going to do is use the MSD box to trigger the coil to fire the spark plugs instead of the points in the distributor. Because inside the distributor, the breaker points go like this, and whenever they close, the full power of the coil goes through there and lights off the spark plugs. Well, that's how you wear out breaker points, and it's just a more reliable way to do it is to use a spark in an amplifier box, like an MSD box. And we'll get into all that later when we install it. But right now, sometimes if you get something at a swap meet, you don't know if it works or not. So this is the MSD digital ignition tester that we've had. This is a great tool to have laying around the shop because you can find out if things actually work. And we have this connected now using a jumper battery box over here so that it's powering this whole nightmare. But the cool thing is now we'll be able to fire this as if it was in the car, and this is a load plug. It's like a spark plug simulator. So what we're going to do is turn this knob here on the side, which is going to start this thing, simulating the signal that's going to start firing this, and then you'll watch the sparks happen in there if this works, right? Is it going to work?
I think so.
All right, well here you go, ready? Wow, smell that.
That doesn't smell good, but
That
you took it
smells-
up to
Smells like ozone burning.
15,000 RPM.
Yeah, so this is the coil that came off the truck, and it fired this thing to 15,600 RPM. So we know that the box works, the distributor or the coil works, so this will all work in the truck, and we won't have to go through the process of figuring out, we know this stuff works. Another cool thing is that MSD, if you get something at a swap meet that's an MSD product, of course they want you to buy new stuff, but sometimes if you're looking for something, secondhand, and you don't get any documentation with it, the website has pretty much all the directions for all the MSD stuff. This is actually the destructions. These are the destructions for the ignition tester, so you can see how it all gets wired together. So pretty cool. So now what we're going to be doing is putting this in the truck, and we'll clean the breaker points in the distributor, but they'll just be used as a low current switch to fire this box, which is going to send the big spark, and it should run a lot smoother because remember, MSD does not stand for magical speed device. It stands for multiple spark discharge, and although you can't really tell by looking at it, what that means is for every time the coil fires on a particular revolution under a certain RPM, like under, I think it's 4,000, the MSD box actually sparks several times. So when you first start the truck up, or whatever you put it on, at low RPM, it's not just getting one spark to light off your air-fuel mixture, which could possibly not happen and cause rough idle or misfires. It's actually sending a little shower of sparks so that you're guaranteed that it's going to, burn all that fuel and run smoothly. And then when it reaches a certain RPM, I think it's 4,000, I might be wrong, then it goes to a single spark. It concentrates all the energy from the multiple sparks into one bigger spark, and that's how it's able to run this thing up to 15,000 RPM. So even though this is an old piece, it still works, and we're still going to get all the benefit of the multiple spark, and this is just kind of a cool low buck way to do it. Ow, Christ.
What happened?
I don't know.
Do it again. Do it again.
I'm afraid.